Hello, welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you're new. So Merit launched a new mineral tinted sunscreen that people are really excited about, but I have seen so many people use this incorrectly across social media by applying just a few dots or swipes or using only a couple of pumps and blending it out like it's a skin tint or a tinted moisturizer. And that is not going to give you the sun protection that this claims to have. Merit designed this to be the last step of your skincare routine, to be your daily facial sunscreen, either worn alone or under your makeup. So that is how we are going to test this out. I'm applying it today for the first time and wearing just some light makeup today, and I'll be wearing it for the next couple of days and I'll come back and tell you my verdict. The official name is the Uniform Tinted Mineral Sunscreen. It has broad spectrum SPF 45 and it retails for $38 for 1.7 ounce. I grabbed shade 22. If you happen to know your Mineralist stick shade, they have a handy chart that tells you what shade would probably be best for you. The shade I have in Mineralist is Bisque, so that's why I picked shade 22. I know everyone's different when it comes to measuring out that 1/4 teaspoon of sunscreen for your face, neck, and ears. Some people measure out 2 fingers lengths, others do about a nickel size amount, I think. What I like to do, because sunscreen thickness varies, so when I get a new sunscreen, I like to actually use a 1/4 teaspoon and measure it out to see if it actually does work out to be 2 fingers lengths or if it's a little bit more. Sometimes runny, thin sunscreens are a little bit more than 2 fingers lengths. Or if it's a pump like this one, it's easier because I can just count out the pumps. I already did that with this and it worked out to be 7 pumps to fill up this 1/4 teaspoon, which may seem like a lot, but that's how much it takes. This is just the method that I use. So now I know I just need 7 pumps of this. I don't need to measure anything out on my hands or on my fingers. I'll have a video linked in my description box along with everything I'm sharing today that helps explain a little bit more about that 1/4 teaspoon calculation if you're interested in that. And normally I would just be pumping this out straight from the tube, but since I poured it out to show you how much you need, I'm not going to waste it. You're seeing me apply about half the amount to start and massaging it in first before I go in with the rest. You still get the adequate sun protection, the right amount of sun protection if you apply it this way. I find this half and half method easier and quicker to blend out than trying to get the entire 1/4 teaspoon to blend out all in one go. This is just a personal preference. You can of course apply your sunscreen however you want to. Now keep in mind that that neck coverage does include the back, and since I'm not going outside anywhere where I need the back of my neck covered, I'm taking some of that amount and applying it to my chest because I want to see how it looks with everything blended out with the sunscreen. I don't notice a scent as I apply it. It is fragrance free and it seems to massage into my skin nicely and absorb really well. Now I do recommend the half and half method because I started to notice towards the end as more and more was being applied, it was starting to streak around my skin, on top of my skin, and it was just taking a little bit more massaging action to get it thoroughly blended in. The finish is pretty dewy immediately after application, which is one of the reasons why you need to let your sunscreen absorb into your skin before applying any makeup on top of it. It may not be this dewy in 10, 15, or 20 minutes. Normally, if I was in front of my bathroom mirror in the morning and applying this as the last step of my skincare routine, I would probably have wet hair and I would dry my hair right now. I think the tint does a nice job of giving flattering skin evening coverage. It doesn't cover everything, it's not designed to, but I feel like there's just a sheer veil of coverage over my redness, my imperfections. So if you're wanting a lighter makeup day or if you're someone who just likes lighter coverage, this might be all you need. I do notice that tint right around my hairline, so I needed to blend it out there. There is some tackiness, but it's not nearly as tacky as I feel like it should be for as dewy as it looks, so that's good. So I'm gonna let this sit and absorb for about 10 or 15 minutes. I'm gonna go do something else. You won't feel that, but I will. And then we're gonna apply some makeup on it, see if we have any pilling or what happens then, and how it performs through the day. That is really, really important too when it comes to sunscreen, so I'll be right back. It's been about 20 minutes. I don't always wait that long. It just worked out that way today, but when I first first sat down and looked at my mirror and the monitor, I noticed it had a dewy, radiant finish still, though less so than when I immediately applied it, I think, and there was still some tackiness to it. So if you have normal to dry skin, or if you like that dewy radiance, that may be perfect for you. But if you have oily combination skin, that feel, that shine may be a bit too much. My skin is pretty normal and can be dry around the perimeter, but I get some shine and oil breakthrough in the center of my face, especially right now with as hot and humid as it is here. So I know the wear and shine factor are going to be affected. So instead of applying my moisturizer as my last skincare step before applying this sunscreen tomorrow, I think I'm going to use this as an all-in-one moisturizer and sunscreen. It feels very hydrating, so I think I can get everything in one, hydration and sunscreen protection, just from this. So stay tuned to the end of the video to see how that works out. Now, so my makeup wouldn't be sliding all over the place when I was applying it or wearing it through the day, I blotted off very gently some of that sheen with a tissue, which shouldn't affect what I gave time to absorb into my skin. There was minimal transfer on the tissue, so I'm comfortable with that. I feel like this did a pretty decent job of evening out my skin tone for this type of minimal, easy makeup day. So I'm not going to wear any foundation or skin tint today, just this, and I'm going to conceal under my eyes and any spots I feel need it. So while I'm doing that and speeding through the rest of my makeup, I'll tell you more about the specifics and claims of this as we see how makeup applies over it and what it ends up looking like. They claim this is a lightweight, buildable mineral sunscreen with broad spectrum UVA, UVB sunscreen protection in the form of 100% mineral zinc oxide, and it has a sheer tint. It's supposed to blend effortlessly into your skin with no white cast and have this light as air natural skin finish that never gets greasy or cakey. And they included this proprietary pigment dispersion technology that gives you that blendable even coverage and fine natural powders that help smooth and blur the look of your skin. It's cruelty-free, vegan, fragrance-free, non-comedogenic, oil-free, and silicone-free. My makeup so far has applied really nicely over this. I didn't have any pilling issues with my corrector, concealer, bronzer, or blush. Now, I haven't done my eye makeup yet, but you can see what one half of my face looks like before setting with just the cream products applied over the sunscreen, and the other side where I lightly set it with translucent powder to cut that shine a bit, which can magnify pores and texture, make them look more pronounced. It still looks really natural. I think it looks good. I initially applied the powder by tapping on a minimal amount with a fluffy domed brush, and then to fuse it into my skin so it looks really natural and becomes one with the rest of the cream products, I gently pressed it into my skin with a puff. I also dusted some translucent powder onto my eyelids. Don't forget at least your upper eyelids from your crease to your brow if you're prone to having your mascara smudge in that area. I went all the way from my lash to my brow because I'm not applying a cream eye product today. I gave my brows some shape and dusted some of this new Laura Mercier bronze color infusion in shade 20 across my cheeks, my nose, some across my forehead, and across my eyes too, just to bring the look together and make it look cohesive. And after mascara and lips, this is what we have with no skin tint, no foundation on top. I think it looks really nice. There's some glow showing through, but it's not too much. It's exaggerated with these lights in front of me. I'm even more anxious now to see how this wears as a daily sunscreen under foundation, and also anxious to see how this performs through the rest of the day. So I will be back. Okay, I'm back after trying this and playing around with this for a few days. Let's talk about the rest of that first day. Here it is in natural light after wearing it for about 3.5 hours. I think it looks really pretty. I was really surprised to see that every time I checked in on that day and each day I've worn it, my face looks pretty much the same in terms of wear and shine through the end of the day. Since it's such a hydrating formula and it's so hot and humid here, I expected to see some major breakthrough shine and oil come through, or at least to feel it on my face, and that has not happened. I also forgot to note that it doesn't burn or sting my eyes. I apply it all around my eye area and I have no issues. I have pretty sensitive eyes, so I wanted to point that out. Since that first day, I've been using this as a combination moisturizer, SPF, skin tint, multitasking product. And since I don't think most people are going to pump out 7 pumps every time time they use this, I decided today that I would apply a smaller amount that I think is closer to what more people will be applying on a daily basis. I actually probably applied more. I applied 2 pumps to my face, 2 to my neck and chest, and layered another pump between all those areas, totaling 5 pumps, which is still a decent amount, probably more than most people will be applying, but that is what's on my face right now. And it's been about 8 hours. So we are going strong. I haven't blotted one time. Before I forget, I wanted to point out really quickly that if you wanted to just throw this on in the morning as a regular skin tint by just applying a layer or 2 and building it to your desired level, you can absolutely do that. You can apply it however you want. I just wanted to show you how it would apply if you applied it as though it was a daily facial sunscreen and used that amount or close to it, since so many of us are trying to protect our skin, but it's your product and you can apply as much as you want. Now, as far as the claims go about this blending in effortlessly with no white cast and smoothing and blurring your skin and being buildable while remaining lightweight and not getting greasy during the day, I think it does all of those things while evening out my skin tone and blurring my pores. I always feel like my makeup has looked fresh and pretty when I've worn this. It's never pilled under any makeup I've applied over it, creams or liquids. I applied foundation over it one day to assess the pilling factor and it was just fine. I don't feel that foundation is necessary over this if you're wearing this just day to day as an everyday skin tint type of product though. It felt like a little bit too much coverage to me. I just didn't feel a need to have another layer of foundation on my face because this does such a nice job on its own of smoothing and blurring and evening out my skin tone and imperfections. I just feel like this plus an under eye concealer and a spot concealer, or the Merit Minimalist stick as a spot concealer, would be fine. That's obviously a personal preference, but that's what I'm getting from it anyway. Now, if you're outside and getting sun exposure, you're supposed to be reapplying your sunscreen every 2 hours. Now, when I am wearing makeup, I do not use liquid sunscreens for reapplication, so that is going to include this one. They just smear everything around and basically wipe off the makeup that I have on my face. So the only time I would use this for reapplication is on days when I'm not wearing makeup. For makeup days, I'm going to use a brush-on sunscreen. I'll put some brush-on sunscreen options down below in my description box and through the YouTube shopping links if you're interested in the ones that I like to use. Each time I wore and tested this, it looked incredibly dewy on my skin before setting with translucent powder. I used Pat McGrath under eye setting powder in light to set my under eyes each day, and to set my face, I used either Huda Beauty or House Labs setting powder. I'm not sure what's happening during the setting step, but somehow this is fusing to the powder in such a natural way. It turns out to be not too dewy, not too matte. It just has this soft, natural finish that continues to look really nice throughout the day, and I don't get greasy or oily with it. The dew factor is never an issue. I might have a soft radiance come through like you can see now at, what, 8.5 hours, but my skin stays looking nice and smooth all day. Typically, when sunscreens or whatever product I'm trying starts out with such a dewy, wet-looking finish before setting it with translucent powder, I get some oil and shine breakthrough during the day. So this has really surprised me. I think this could potentially work for almost all skin types, maybe not those who are excessively oily, or if you're looking for a matte finish. Now, if you have dry, normal, or mature skin and you love a radiant, dewy finish and you don't mind that unset type of feeling, you may enjoy applying this and the rest of your makeup and not setting it down with anything. And if you have moderately oily or combination skin and you want an all-in-one moisturizer, SPF, skin tint, hybrid product that feels hydrating yet not greasy or heavy, particularly after you let it absorb into your skin and after you set it, this would probably work really well for you too. And no matter your skin type, this could potentially streamline your routine as well. I went into this thinking this was going to be kind of an oily, greasy situation as the day went on, and this was a pleasant surprise. It's been a while since I've done a standalone review. Let me know if you have any questions down in the comments. I hope you found this helpful and enjoyable. If you did, give it a thumbs up. And if you want to see some foundation reviews, I do those constantly. You can check those out here. Be sure you're subscribed to my channel if you enjoy everyday beauty made easy. I would love to see you here on a regular basis. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.